and I'm glad to be with you guys today. Today's topic is about losing a child. Today's topic is a very deep one. I had two guests today scheduled, but unfortunately one couldn't make it. But the one that we do got, I would like you all to help me welcome the beautiful, intelligent, relentless entrepreneur, mother, and creator of Lady Moss of the Sea, Miss Lacasha Gibson. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Can I just step in?
Yes.
It's Lacasha Long.
Lacasha Long. I know that's right, Kasha.
I haven't been Gibson since I don't know her.
That's right.
I don't know her. I'm this Lacasha Long. But how y'all doing?
Let's welcome Lacasha Long. Period. Congratulations on Lacasha. That's good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here. Yep.
So you originally from Lima, right?
I am, yes.
But you didn't move to Atlanta.
Yep, I've been in Atlanta for 6 years now. I moved from Lima back in 2018, and Atlanta is where it's at. That's where I'll be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Atlanta is where it's at. Mm-hmm. It is, girl. I loved it when I went down to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Living there and visiting is two different things, but living there is different. Visiting is a vibe, for sure. It's a vibe when when you're visiting, but living there is so resourceful. It's just so much, and everybody, the hospitality is true. They do have hospitality. If anybody come down there and say they didn't get Southern hospitality, they was in the wrong area. I don't know where they was at, but since I've been in there, I have became an entrepreneur from being there and just getting resources. People just, everywhere you go, everybody you see, they got some information for you, or they telling you where something, where you can get resources. It's just a place.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It is.
Because you don't really see people doing that around here and nothing. I mean, it take you to a whole nother level. Yeah. And Atlanta is a lot of blacks, and it feel good to see a lot of blacks in positions to be bosses and doing everything.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's one of the main things about Atlanta that I love, because it is majority blacks. You know what I mean? You got a culture of everybody there. It's a mixed culture, but black is majority. So I love to see it. You know what I mean? So coming from here in Ohio, it's predominantly white, but you got your packs of blacks or whatnot, but you see it's whites in positions here more. Yeah. You know what I mean? Down in Atlanta, it's blacks in position.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes, and I love to see it.
Yeah. That's good for sure. So we here to talk about mothers losing a child. Well, really parents. Period. So Kasha, I'm gonna take you back a little bit. To the beginning, lost your son. First of all, before we even get to that, you got 5 kids, right, Kasha?
I do. I have 5 children, yes.
Right.
4 living and 1 deceased. But actually, within this last 6 years, I have gained 7 children.
Okay.
Yes, 7. Right. Total of 7. I birthed 5, but I have 7 children total. 1's not with us, but the other 6 are well and doing good.
That's good. That's good. So, Taj is your son that is deceased. So, what's Taj's real name, Kasha?
His name is Taj Hakeem Gibson. I got his name off of Another Bad Creation.
Another Bad
Creation? The Boys,
or is
it The Boys? That little group.
Okay.
Me and my homegirl that I'm so close with. When we were having our kids, we liked all their names, and so I had to be greedy though. I had to get 2 of the boys' names. I had to have Taj and Hakeem, but I took the H off and named him Taj Hakeem. And my girlfriend, she named her son Kyrie. So
right.
So that's 3 of the 5 boys right there.
Right. So Taj is where do he fit at in the 5? Is he the oldest or?
Yes. Taj is my firstborn child. Yes.
Okay.
He's my firstborn.
Okay. All right, we're gonna take it back to the beginning. Okay. My first question is, do you remember where you were at and what you were doing when you got the phone call about your son being shot Because he was shot, right?
Yes. So I was actually at home. It was February 24th, and I got the call about one something in the morning, which is actually now February 25th, because it was that Friday. And I was at home and I fell asleep on the couch because we had the birthday party that day. My granddaughter's birthday party was that day. She had turned 1, and we had all been to the birthday party, and we just had kind of got back home and relaxed or whatever. And I kind of fell asleep on the couch watching a movie, and I was waking up to a bunch of banging on my door, scared me out of my sleep. So when I answered the door, it was my son Mike, and I can't even tell you who it was. I don't remember her face, but somebody was with him, and they was hollering and crying about Taj been shot, Taj been shot. And I'm woke up out of my sleep, so I'm really like delirious and don't understand. I'm not comprehending what's being said, so I'm running around looking for shoes, looking. I don't even know what I'm looking for: shoes, keys, purse, coat. I don't even know. I'm just running around, and he like, Mom, just calm down, just calm down. He okay? He okay, he just got shot. He okay, they take him to the hospital. When he said that, I snapped into reality. I was like, I calmed down because I felt like he was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ride to the hospital though felt weird. It just felt like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it just was a weird feeling that I can't explain to this day. So however, when we get to the hospital, I see all these different cars, and I'm walking up, I see trails of blood, and I just see a whole scene. I'm an investigator, you know,
Right.
it's just a mother's nature to investigate everything. So I'm looking at the scene, and I'm almost picturing how things happened before I got there. I'm picturing everybody was running, somebody pulled a car up and took him inside because they drove him to the hospital. No ambulance didn't come because they waited for the ambulance, I guess, and they didn't come. So they put him in a car and they drove him. So I could just see what was happening before I even got there. I seen it. I seen it in front of me. It was blood everywhere. The car was sitting there. The doors was open, and there's all these people running in and out the hospital. So I go in there, and it's like everybody was just looking at me with pity. I'm like, I still not understanding because he just shot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He just shot. You know what I'm saying? Why are y'all looking and like acting like this? You know what I mean? Like, y'all act like y'all seen his head get blown off or something. I'm just like, what y'all tripping for? He just shot. Like, chill. Then, rest in peace, Jermaine Ingram, close family member of ours.
Yeah.
He came over, apologizing, just crying and apologizing to me. That kind of made me angry because what are you apologizing to me for? Like, don't do that. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't want to hear that. Just at this point now, I don't even want to know what everybody looking crazy and talking crazy for.
Yeah.
I need to talk to the doctors. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on, Mom? What's going on? So the nurse told me just have a seat. They working on him or whatever, da da da. So I'm like, okay, they working on him. So y'all acting like he already like they knew he was already dead or something. So they came out and moved us to another room. That got leery to me. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. For one, I was getting claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Because me and all my family members, I only remember 2 faces that day in that room. I remember 2 faces. But it was about 10, 15 people in that little bit room, and I didn't like that. And it also gave me flashbacks of when my mother was killed. They put us in that room. They put us in that room. Well, not my mother, my aunt, I'm sorry. They put us in that room, and
it was all bad news.
It was all bad news. So my mind flashed back to that memory when I was 12.
Right.
However, I'm still keeping my calm. I can't sit down. I remember a picture on the wall with flowers. Flowers. I could still see that flower. It was like a valley, like a field. Mm-hmm. I could still picture that because I had to keep my eyes on that because I couldn't look at all of them. I don't know what was wrong with them. They was crying and acting real crazy, real weird. Like, y'all being dramatic because he's just shot.
Yeah.
So the chaplain came. The chaplain came. Another red flag. Why are you here? Like, this isn't how a normal just shot situation goes. Why are you here? So he just told us, he just wants trying to make sure we were okay, and the doctors will be with us shortly, and this and that. The next person comes to the room was the doctor. So I'm like, okay, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you finally here because I'm sick of waiting and I'm ready to, go see my son. I need to see what's going on. And the doctor came. I seen the doctor's eyes. I seen his face. I already knew.
Because they human and they got feelings too. So
Yeah.
it's hard to hide it, even in their profession.
Even in their profession. And I'm a good reader too, you know what I mean? Like some doctors, they can keep a straight face because like you said, that's their profession. But then at the same time, like you said, they're human as well.
Yeah.
But I read it all over his face. I already knew what he was about to say, but I just had to sit there because I didn't want to jump conclusions. I just had to wait to see because I didn't want to jump too fast. Yeah, and that's when he said, he was like, I'm sorry, he didn't make it. Those words, I can still hear his voice, his tone, the type of voice he had, everything. And I just ran. I don't even know where I ran. I ran out the hospital. I don't even know. I ended up in the car, somebody's backseat. I think it was my brother driving. I don't know. So I kind of just lost all memory. But one thing I do hate that nobody helped me do, I didn't get to see my baby. I didn't get to identify him.
Why not?
Because I ran out of the hospital and took off running, and everybody it was just so crazy. Nobody thought to take me back into the hospital to take me to see him.
Yeah.
When I was running around, my brothers and them just all they thought is to put me in the car
to take care of you right now.
And they took me to my grandmother. And I had to break the news to her, but after all of that was said, and by the time we got to her house, everybody was out to her house. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and people from the south side had already like gathered up around her house.
Do you beat yourself up about that because you feel like you could have said something to wake them up, or like that's a natural feeling? You know how like I didn't even get to maybe if in that time period or whatever. But don't beat yourself up, Kasha.
I mean, well, I don't beat myself up now, but there was a time period that I would always think like, I didn't even get to see him. I didn't even get to see him or identify him or even, kiss him, in his last state when his body was still warm. But as time went on, and I would take my conversation about it to God. And God basically told me it was meant to be like that. You wouldn't be able to accept seeing him like that.
Right.
So, the fact that I didn't get to see him laying there on the cold steel hospital bed or whatever state he was in, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm glad that I didn't see it, because what you don't know won't hurt you. So I never got to see that. And it always takes me back to that movie Fruitvale Station. I don't know if you guys ever seen that.
Girl, did I cry so hard about that movie when I went to see it.
Yeah, and that lady had to go identify her baby on that table.
Yeah.
And I think after that it was like, I'm glad I didn't get to see him because that was horrible to even watch that.
Yeah, it was.
So, so that's how that night, that's what I was doing that night, and that's how it panned out. I had 2 of my grandchildren with me that night, and one of them birthday, and then I had my oldest grandson.
Do Taj have kids?
Taj does not have any kids, no. Yeah, my second son has children, but Taj never had any.
Yeah, he was how old when that happened to him?
22.
22.
Yeah.
Still a baby.
He had turned 22 that December, and it happened that February. So he was like 22 and like 56 days old.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. Period.
Yeah.
So Kasha, how is your mental health right now? Like, how you doing with the situation? What's your healing process?
My healing process is I just take it day by day because every day is different and I don't know what to expect every day. Although I'm prepared for whatever is to come. My mental state is I went through a period of time where I would just I don't know, just like my mind would just kind of just like lash out. Like, I don't want to say lash out because that's like a more aggressive word, but I would just kind of like, I don't know, go through spurts of like off track. Like, I'm like not myself, you know what I mean? Like,
Mad, irritated,
maybe mad or irritated, maybe sad or depressed, maybe just tired.
everything.
Yeah, it's unexplainable.
Your whole life changed.
My whole life changed, yeah. And it's like, I might be like in a good, chirpy, up spirited mood with plans on doing this or that, and then it'll get around to that time, and I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm broke down, crying, upset, or whatever emotion may have overwhelmed at that time. That's what I'm going through, whether it be anger, whether it be sorrow, grief, depression, anxiety, fear of, and a lot of those emotions like triggered off of my environment and the people and places and things that I did and the people and places that I was around too. Absolutely. A lot of those were triggers.
That's what it be like that too.
So I mean, I really couldn't like explain it. I did go to counseling. It was very helpful.
You think counseling helpful?
I do, but I don't think you have to have. This is my personal opinion. This is opinion.
Yeah, so, this is opinion. So you're allowed to have your opinion.
I don't think you have to have a certification or a license or a degree or whatever qualifications that they certify you as a counselor. I think a counselor is anybody that you can counsel to.
That's right.
When you can counsel, basically, you can talk to somebody and they can reciprocate and speak back with you with an understanding. That's counseling.
Yes, it is.
That's counseling right there. So, but I did do counseling, and I would say that sometimes the counseling will come from a person that you don't know, because sometimes you can give them some of them feelings and emotions that you have to hide from people that you do know. If that makes sense.
It do. It do. I went for the first time, and me and my son. And we always think we don't need counseling and it ain't good or this or that. But she was asking us some hard questions that I didn't even really think about. And to sit there and hear my son say some stuff that he had never said before was shocking too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, okay, he comfortable. So it's like putting me on the spotlight with things that I never even thought of or considered.
Right.
So I think it's good too when you talking to somebody and
that you don't know. Sometimes you can express things that you may not be able to express, that people that have other expectations of you. You know what I mean? So
or talk about you or shock you. You ain't gonna even be able to open up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if it's somebody that you know that you can't open up with, that'd be a good thing counseling. Because that's counseling, real talk.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions about Taj. Kasha, what was his nickname was Taj?
Yeah, Taj, but my grandfather always called me Muscle Man. And once he got older, the streets gave him, I think he gave his own name, his own nickname. It was Trill, which actually was abbreviations for Taj Real. So T/Real, put it all together, Trill.
Period.
So it wasn't spelled Trill as in trill, like the music and the songs. It was Trill as in Treal.
Okay.
I remember buying him a belt buckle with T-Real on it, and boy, he loved that belt buckle. So yeah, that was his nickname once he got about 11. From 11 to a baby, he was Muscle Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How do you keep his memory alive?
I keep his memory alive by just having faith, just knowing that he was alive. That's what keeps his memory alive, by knowing that he was here, because sometimes you know how people think about, people the same, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
Okay. He's out of sight, but he's not out of mind ever.
Right.
Because he was an actual person. You might not be able to see him or hear him or communicate with him, but my faith is there. I know he was, I birthed him. I carried him. I felt him kick inside of me before he was even a person.
Yeah.
You know, when he was in my womb. So, you know, that's something that nobody can ever take from me. They took his physical body from me, but before he had a physical body, he formed in me.
Yeah.
You know? And so, I mean, that's how I keep his memory alive. I used to, in the early stages of losing him, I used to try to like hang up all these different pictures and keep all these like different little trinkets of him. But I realized that doing that only made me stay depressed.
Yeah.
It made me stay depressed because now I'm obsessing over him. So like if you see a focus, you're looking at that focus, you're thinking about that focus. That focus is giving you the motivation of what you want to, what you're trying to do. So if I'm looking at his pictures every day, now I'm not saying that I don't hang pictures up, but I had got to a point where I was obsessing over him. Like I gotta have a picture of this, I gotta have a memory of that, I gotta have this in here, I gotta have, this and that.
I can just imagine that. Yeah, because he ain't in the physical no more, so you want his presence all around you.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's what a lot of us parents that have lost a child do, because it's the traditional or logical thing to do. But where I had to go through my journey with it, I had to stop. I mean, because like I have 5 other children.
Yeah.
And they pictures are up too, but I don't feel that I should be, just worshiping him more than the others, because he's still here. He's still my child.
He is.
So nobody can take that from me. So I don't have to put up physical reminders and just put all these different things up to know that he was alive. You know what I mean? So I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that. And like for his death day, something else I stopped doing is I stopped celebrating that. That's not a celebration. He left that day, so I don't feel like have a party.
That was a hard time.
Yeah, but I don't feel like celebrating. I feel like, it happened and just let that be that.
Yeah.
His birthday, I don't celebrate his birthday as much no more, but I still do lift him up. I still do like, do a little birthday thing for him, but I don't like go overboard with it.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I had to do to help me with my healing process. So, and that's what helped me, because like I said, on any given day, he's in my memories with on my phone, on my social media, because he's been on there since the beginning. Social media is like what, 12 years old now, 11 years older than that, because he had a social media page.
Right.
And then I go to his social media page and, look at pictures and stuff, and he just popped randomly up on my memory. So, that's enough for me, because sometimes when that happens, it'll depress me.
Yeah.
It'll make me think about what's not.
Yeah.
And, I might be having a great day, and then his picture will pop up, and I think about, oh, this is the day whatever the picture may be about,
I was looking through your Facebook and I seen you had posted something and I really liked it, and I think it would probably be good for other people too. You had put, y'all do me a favor and drop a line one of your funniest memories of Taj, and you put signed the mom missing her son. I was feeling you on that because, like you said, at any given moment, you yearn for your baby, and the people that was around your baby, like, fill me up, like, tell me something about my baby, whatever. So I think when I was seeing the love, I was like, yeah, that's, you was crying out and they was willing to give it to you. Yeah. So I thought that was real good. And other people can do that too, because I haven't experienced it, but for me looking at it, I thought, yeah,
it was uplifting. It was very uplifting, because that was one of those moments, and when I get in those moments, if I need to bring up what I need to bring up of him, I can do that. But then other times it's where, I don't want to go into that.
Right.
You know, so if I'm always having these captured moments up all the time, that's what it's gonna be for me all the time.
I'm grateful for you being able to be here to talk to me about it right now. You know.
It's been a long way. I'm glad I'm here, and everything happens for a reason because where we at today in this day right now, I am strong enough to talk with you because I can't say that I would have been ready any earlier.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been prematurely. It probably may not have happened. I don't know.
Right.
But here we are today. Thanks for having me because I'm ready to speak about my baby. You know, I feel like I'm strong enough to speak about it. Not saying that I won't get teary eyed. I don't know what all you finna unfold or ask me, but you know, I feel like I'm strong enough. You know, and I don't know who else out there that may need some strength, but hopefully I can, you know, lift somebody else up because you know we all walking in some shoes that we don't want to tie the laces up on.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So what was Todd's favorite food for you to cook, Kasha? What did you guys do?
His favorite meal was chicken parmesan.
Chicken parmesan.
Yeah, it was not my favorite. I didn't like it. But he loved me to make that for him, so I would just make him that. I would make it like from scratch, you know, the chicken breast and dip it in the egg batter with the, you know, breadcrumbs and all the seasonings and stuff and make the sauce on it. I would make the spaghetti, like regular spaghetti sauce with hamburger in it.
Mm-hmm.
He liked that. I just felt like, I don't like it, but that's what he wanted. I put the mozzarella on it for him. And, you know, the last time I made that meal for him was in September of 11. He passed away February 12th. And we was doing family pictures that day. And he was like, you gonna hook me up on that meal, huh? Right. And he just had this goofy, he was such a goofy sweetheart. And the way he talked, you couldn't say nothing but like, yeah.
Can't deny it.
Yeah.
I got you.
But yeah. All right, well, I'll be over there when you get it done. You know? Yeah.
Do you find yourself more protective when it comes to your other kids now? Like, do you find yourself being a little bit, where you at? What you doing? What you do? You know?
I do. In the beginning, initially, I didn't have my youngest son. He's 9 now. Ty's been gone for 12 years. So when it initially happened, I was like that with my second son, Mike.
Okay.
Because he was dealing with the loss. I mean, I had to step outside of being their mom and understand where he came from as being the brother. Because, I mean, my love came from the perspective of mom, but he spent more time with him than I did because they slept in the same room. They had to do, you know, get up together. They went to school together. They did everything together. They took baths together up until a certain age. You know, they did everything together. So when he lost his brother, you know, I had to put my feelings aside to try to cater to him because he lost like a piece of him.
Yeah.
You know, I did too. I lost my child, but I had to realize that he lost his best friend.
Yeah.
You know, so I was worried about him because he kind of, you know, had me worried. He just had me worried. So I was kind of worried about him. But as time got on, you know, I'm not as worried about him as much. But Taj's baby brother, my youngest son, he is a spitting image of him. And it just makes me look at him and just worry. I hate to even say it, but I be looking at him and thinking like, I hope that nothing happened to you. I pray nothing happens to you. Because he acts just like Taj, he looks just like Taj, and he got so many traits of Taj, and it just kind of, I just see Taj.
And you had him after Taj.
Yep, Taj passed away in 2012, and Jihad was born 2015.
Right, yeah. And he is a spitting image of him.
He's a spitting image of him.
Off camera, me and Kasha talked and we shared some things, and it's going to be a video that's going to be on here that's attached as well. And the video pretty deep. It is her son. You want to tell about it, Kasha? Because I'm going to post it along with it for they can see it, but...
Well, okay, so you just said Todd hit you. When was this?
For the old house.
Okay, and where was I at?
On bed, sleep.
All right, so when he hit you, what you do?
I started putting ice on him.
And what he say?
I put salt on him when he waked up.
Taj, you talking about Taj, your brother Taj.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And when Mike came to the room, he was fighting for Mike.
was he?
Yeah, he was under the bed. He was stuck.
Taj was stuck.
Yeah, he was stuck under the bed.
And then what Mike do? Mike didn't see him?
No.
Uh.
Look, he put a cover right there and right here. No, nobody can see him.
So he be playing with you?
Yeah. When he went to haircut, he got his dread cut off.
Really?
Jihad, ever since well, let me give a little backstory from that. So when Jihad was 11 months old, he had a spontaneous aneurysm, and he had to be life flighted. He was 11 months old. He had to be life flighted to Toledo. He stayed in the hospital for 12 days. It happened like December 11th or somewhere up in that time, 11th or 13th, and the doctors couldn't figure out what happened, like how he had a brain aneurysm. They did genetic checks, they did neurology tests, they did physical testing, they did the shaken baby syndrome. They did all these
And
tests.
it popped up at 11 months?
It happened at 11 months, and I almost lost him. All the doctors were teaming together, all the different teams of doctors, they teamed together and they couldn't come up with what happened to him. So on the last day, they said that, hey, if the brain bleed don't stop, there's nothing we can do. We don't know what else to do. They basically really. So they said we'll monitor him, but at this point it's been 12 days. They didn't know how to stop the bleeding. They didn't know how to stop it. They didn't know how to stop it. They didn't know where it was coming from or what. They couldn't figure this out. So after the 12th day, they said, well, we're gonna have to take him off the machine because he was incubated, and they said we're gonna have to take him off the machine because he wasn't like they was breathing for him. They was doing everything for him. I said okay, we just have to see what he does. We can't say that he's gonna make it. We can't say that he's not gonna make it. We don't know what his condition will be if he pulls through. He may be a vegetable. He may be he may be mentally challenged. They say because he lost oxygen to the brain, and it was all these different things, and so they took him off the machine that morning. My baby did a whole 360 turnaround. His brain bleed stopped. His numbers went up. He's breathing on his own. He came out of that. So I just feel like I don't know what that was about, but he's a fighter and he was meant to fight. So moving forward, he always comes and tells me about what him and his big brother has been doing. And Taj has been gone since 2012. Jihad didn't get in the world until 2015. But somehow Jihad knows things about Taj that he would have never known because he wasn't born. He knows things.
And you didn't tell him?
No. The things
He's telling you.
He's telling me things. Yes, he tells me things. And it's been numerous occasions where Jihad will come out the room and just go to telling me about him and Taj was in there playing, Taj was pulling his ears, Taj was tickling him, Taj was punching him. And so after so many times, not the last time because he's done it since then, but this particular time, I wanted to catch him on video telling me the story of what happened. Because he was excited. He was excited about this one.
His brother had came and seen him.
Yeah, they had a real fun day this time because his brother was hiding in his covers because Mike peeked his head in the room that day to see what Jihad was doing because he was in there rumping and bumping and having a good old time.
Right.
So Mike peeked his head in there to see what he was doing. And my baby basically told me that, Taj knew Mike was coming, hid under the covers.
Yeah.
And he said he got his hair cut, Mom. He had dreads and he cut his dreads off. I said, okay.
Right.
It's all on video. You just have to listen to it on the video. But yeah. So I don't know if this some type of sixth sense my baby got.
He transitioned into him.
I thought that too. Yeah. I didn't want to say that because I don't want people to think she's weird, but no, I really have these different thoughts, and like when he's talking, he say stuff like literally with the same lingo that Taj had. Like Taj would have like a certain lingo, like his
You
words would
never
come
know
off his
what
tongue.
God doing up there.
I don't.
You know what I mean? He got his way of doing things.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I'm definitely not leaning on my own understanding because I don't.
Right.
But any of these is possible because the Lord can do the impossible.
Yes,
you know?
he can.
Yes.
Yes, he can.
So
And
I don't know, but yeah, I just think that it's amazing to watch my child that was born 3 years later be able to contradict or speak about a person that passed away 3 years before they were even thought of.
Right. Right. How is your relationship, Kasha, with Taj's father? How y'all relationship?
We're friends. We're friends. We've been friends ever since, we split ways. He has two younger sons that look just like Taj too. I haven't seen him in a while. When Taj passed away, we came together for the death of our son, and initially early on, I was giving those death parties and doing that. He supported me with those, but I don't do those anymore. So I haven't really kept in contact with him because that's really the only reason that we would have to communicate is about Taj. But like I said, I've stopped doing all of those depressing things. I would say, because those parties, what comes from those parties? It's the death day. We drinking and drinking. What drinking causes? Now you just upset. It causes sorrow, and that was. I feel like for me, can't speak for anybody else and how anybody else go about their loss, but for me, it was definitely the wrong direction for me. Yeah. So I cut all of that type of partying out. It's a celebration and something to toast to, pour it out. I don't do that. I feel like that just causes more hurt. Yeah. In the end, to me, like after it's all said and done, the next day when the party's done, and now you're really feeling like crap. Yeah.
Have you ever felt like you could have did something different? Have you ever like beat yourself up like it was like blaming yourself?
Yeah. Initially, I would say in my first 5 years, I probably was insane. I beat myself up. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I raised him around the wrong men. I brought the wrong men around his life. You know what I'm saying? I probably wasn't probably the best mom because I partied and had fun, and sometimes we maybe put them off to go have fun. Just like
How old was you when you had Taj?
I had Taj at 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
You was young.
I was young. But yeah, I beat myself up a lot because I just felt like, maybe if I had to this, maybe I shoulda, woulda, coulda that, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I said, I would take all of these issues to God. And one by one, he answered all of these questions and doubts and all of that I've had. He answered them one by one. May not have been right then for this one, may not have been right then for that one, but the questions that you're asking me, like, how I felt, in some stages I felt all of that, but as time went on, he didn't answer that. He said, this is his will, and Taj was here and did what he wanted him to do while he was here, and he said, I should be thankful. Yeah. I should be thankful
for the gift of family.
Yes, yes. And that's what makes me stand up because I'm proud to say that I raised him for 22 years. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So yeah.
That's right. And there ain't no handbook on parenting. Right. So we can't beat ourselves up. Once you guide them and raise them and teach them, they can do what they want to do. They have the right for their own choices and stuff, so no.
They could be raised by the best of the best. They could be raised by pastors or whoever, or, people that are, suburbs or whatever, the classification of a perfect picture. Those kids can,
mess up and
do, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like, I tried to blame Taj's friends. You was hanging with the wrong people and all of this and that. I had to quit the blame game. I can't blame other people. You know what I'm saying? I just had to get down raw and, natural about what it was. And once all the peels was peeled back from it, God just, he just revealed to me that, ain't nothing you could have did, ain't nothing you I'm in control. I got this.
So you got deep in your Bible.
Mhm.
Right.
I mean, I've always been in my Bible, but I take it to the Bible when I'm like, people say don't question God. People say that.
But you have some questions.
But, I mean, everybody, each to his own. Once again, this is opinions.
Right.
I feel like God ain't gonna answer none of your prayers if you don't ask.
Yeah.
So if you're not asking questions, or, I mean, prayer and questions might be two different
Deliver me,
phrases.
God, deliver me.
Yes, I need answers.
Yeah.
Help me get through this, because if I'm walking your journey, you gotta tell me which way to go and why I need to go this way, and why is this happening like this, and why did, but after it's all said and done, he answers the questions.
Yeah, I agree with you, girl.
So,
and they do say we're not supposed to question them, but I agree.
mm-hmm.
You gotta, like, Lord, I need you to direct me, help me.
Yeah.
I'm calling out to you, help me, I believe in you, I trust you, I need you.
My God let me ask him questions, so.
Yeah.
And he answers them, and he blesses me after he answers them, because he just need me to see. He need me to know.
Yeah. What is something that you would want the world to know about your baby that they might not know?
Okay. I would want the world to know that before Taj was meant to live for 22 years. And I know that because before Taj was even born, he almost didn't make it into the world. When I became pregnant with Taj, I didn't tell nobody. Except his dad. And his dad wanted me to abort him. He was young and in school. He was, trying to, get through high school and, go to basketball and do all that stuff. And I was only 16. So I kept my pregnancy a secret for like 5 months. I would always wear baggy clothes anyway, so it wasn't like, you could tell. But my grandparents found out when school was getting ready to start back, and I had to go get a physical for basketball, and came back, she's pregnant. They suggested that I got an abortion. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. His dad wanted me to do that. They wanted me to do that. I didn't want to do it, but at the same time, how hurt I think they were. They were so disappointed with me. I mean, they felt like I had messed my life up. They felt like, it was a whole lot. So, with his dad on my shoulders about, he didn't want no kids, with them on my shoulders about you messing up your life, I'm like, okay, I get it. So they took me to Dayton and paid the upfront money or whatever. And when we got back there, they was like, I'm sorry, we can't give you an abortion. You're too far. There's nothing we can do. You're like 20 weeks.
Right.
That was like the happiest day of my life. I was like, on the way back from Dayton, I was sitting back there cheesing like a Chester cat. I didn't care about the fact that I was 16. I knew that I was gonna be okay. I knew that I could do this. I knew that I had the strength. If his dad didn't want to be a part of it, that's fine. Although that's not how things went,
Right.
It was just an initial fear of,
being a dad, being a mom. We kids.
Yep, it's both of our first child, so I was back there like, it was awesome, you know what I'm saying? And my grandmother, she used to talk mess about baby gonna be this, that, and the other. Baby came out 9 pounds, 6 ounces, the most beautifulest baby you would ever want to see, and she fell in love with him. She was attached to him. She took him from me. She raised my baby without no question. I had to go ask, can I hold my baby?
Right.
So I just want the world to know that, everything happens the way it's supposed to, because if it was left up to the world or society, because they guided my parents and my son's father mind and the world predicted how they thought things were going to play out. But no, it didn't play out like that. You know what I mean? Todd still came into the world, and I raised him. I did everything for him. You know what I'm saying? Got him out, and he was an adult, 22 years old. That's when he left. That was how long he was supposed to live.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. That's what I want the world to know, that he wouldn't have been here if I would have let society norms.
Yeah.
And told and went with what his dad said, get the abortion now. I could have got the abortion early on, but I didn't want to do that, and I kept my pregnancy a secret, and that secret was kept that he couldn't be aborted.
Right.
Mhm.
That's right. And he was meant to be here. When you got back there, they said,
Yeah, yeah.
this one finna come to you.
Yeah, y'all can look into adoption or something else, but
Right.
so they was like, that was like some crazy work back then trying to do some adoption. But yeah.
So Kasha, is his friends still around? Like, do they come and check on you? The friends that he had, like, do people still be loyal like they be saying? Which
I would say yes and no, because there's a few of his friends that I haven't seen, but for the most part, most of his friends were family niche.
okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm down in Atlanta now, but I mean, my family is here in Ohio, and they check on me, when I come to town, it's all love and everything, but um, I would have to say, yeah, I'm not here as much. His grave is here, and they'll go out there, they'll send me pictures, they'll go clean it off and things like that, and they'll post pictures of him. It makes me feel good to see others thinking about him, because of course I'm thinking about him, but then, when other people go silent, it makes me wonder, do they think about it?
Yeah.
Do they keep his memory alive? Are they thinking? But I can't expect everybody to think like that because they're not his mom. I am, so. But yeah, they check on him, I would say, yeah, they're
What
loyal.
about your support system, like your friends and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. My friends 100% supportive. They've been in my corner before, then, during, and still now.
Cause you got the same circle of friends forever, right?
Yes, same circle of friends since elementary.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. But and I also gained friends along the way too throughout the years that have become friends, and they're loyal as well. You know what I mean? I feel like I haven't had any fallouts with nobody that I consider a friend, and all my friends are loyal. Yeah, they're there. They're a good supportive system.
So have you ever talked to a group of ladies that's been through the same thing?
Yes.
You have?
We was once upon a time in a group called SOS, Save Our Sons, and it was about 6 of us women, and we would all just sit and speak on like what we feeling and any new ideas on how to cope and how to grieve and just whatever they felt like bringing to the table, as far as like the cases at that time. A lot of the cases were fresh. Some of them wasn't solved. Parents wanted their justice, things like that. So we would discuss those type of things. We would discuss like how we feeling and how life is going. That was when I lived in Ohio as well. So where I'm at in Atlanta, nobody really knows my story, and that's okay because I don't want the pity. I don't want the sympathy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me. What my situation with my son.
You don't look like what you've been through.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
That's for sure. So they
Thank
can't look at you and tell.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But they
will
don't
never
hear
know.
now on opinions because opinions gonna be worldwide.
And I believe that. I see that.
And this gonna be a shocker with me and you being on here and we, having this conversation and it's gonna be an eye opener. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So Lacasha Long. My next question is, how have the death of your son Taj changed you for the better or for the worse or just changed you, period?
Since it's been 12 years, it's changed me for the better. But initially, like, I don't know, the first 5, 6 years, I keep saying that because that seemed like that period of time where it changed me for the worse. Because I got to see the ugly side of me. I got to see like a part of me that I didn't like, you know what I'm saying? It brought out the ugly in me in order for me to see it, to identify what I didn't like about myself. Cause I was getting DUIs, I was just going downhill, spiral downhill. And I had other kids, that I needed to be strong for, you know what I'm saying? And I just saw that I was chipping away at myself. I lost one child, but am I going to throw away 3? At the time, it was them 3 left. So I lost one, but am I going to throw away 3? So, I would say overall, it's changed me for the better. And when I say it changed me for the better, I'm no longer bitter. Um, I was bitter initially because the circumstances just didn't sit well with me. I was out for revenge. I was vengeful. Like, yeah, all those negativities had to be brought out because they were inside me. They were internal, so they had to be brought out externally in order for me to make a change for myself.
Right.
So it changed me for the better because, like, now when things like that happen, the first thing I don't want to do is go to none of them ways, bring out none of them traits.
Yeah.
So I always like try to like think of something
That's
positive.
right.
Yeah, yeah. So it changed me for the better.
I think too, because I think you're doing real good.
Thank you.
Everything that I see, I think you're doing extremely good.
Thank you.
And you have to, some stuff will make you or break you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
that's a breakable moment. It can be. And like you said, you definitely went through it, but you just didn't let it keep you down.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you had your days and stuff. Taj didn't really get no justice, did he?
He didn't get no justice
From the
the
system.
courts now. And that's okay because at the end of the day, in my opinion, because I'm here on opinions.
Yes.
In my opinion, our justice system is not gonna fight for us anyway.
Right.
In no type of realm, whether it's black on black violence, we definitely ain't gonna get the justice that needs to be served. But black crime, we not getting the justice we need to be served. And like just anything with blacks, I don't think we get the justice that we
No,
need.
they wanna hang us.
Yeah.
They wanna hang us for real. Like they ain't fighting for us
No.
now. You know what I mean?
To see two black kids, one kill one, and they laughing. That's what they happy about that. So I just had to go ahead and just forgive the person that's responsible for my son's death. I just had to go and forgive them because it's not my place to try to get justice. And whether our system fails us or they gonna fail us regardless.
How you guys like how was that process? Like how do you know you forgave him?
Because I know I forgave him because it wasn't just an overnight thing, of course, but it was with due time. Like keep trying to tell myself, I forgive him. He's forgiven. I mean, if I saw him, I wouldn't have any anger in my heart. And I haven't personally saw him, but I feel strong in my faith that if I saw him, that I could probably even have a conversation with him. But the problem comes where there's an issue is that he haven't forgave himself. If he haven't forgave himself and I try to have a conversation with him and then the conversation goes left, then that's where it will be an issue.
It would be a trigger.
It would be a trigger. But at the end of the day, I've forgiven him. Whether he forgiven himself or not, I've forgiven him.
Yeah. That's big of you. That's major.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of your healing process. God, can't nobody give you that but God.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? Because, that's hard. I mean, that's your baby.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've experienced loss before, like my mother's loss. You know what I'm saying? I watched my grandmother deal with her grief because two of her children were killed in 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Back to back. My aunt was killed May 26th. My mom was killed July 26th.
Oh, wow.
So I watched my grandmother, you know what I'm saying, suffer and stand through it. You know what I mean? And the man that killed my mom, I forgave him. And I wanted to be strong enough when he passed away. I wanted to pay my respects and go to his funeral.
You did?
I did.
Was you paying respects or was you like,
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh.
No, it was not because I wouldn't be able to sit up and see somebody in a casket and be like, aha.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not in my nature.
Well, how old was you, Kasha, when your mom got murdered?
12.
12. So
Yes.
yeah, you was
Yes,
You was aware of what had went on.
I was 12, yeah.
So how old was you when you forgave him? Because what, you would see him around town and stuff and you knew who he was?
Well, see, that's the thing. And then I know this segment is about loss of a child,
Mm.
but loss of my mother kind of plays a part of how I got through or getting through, because I ain't gonna say I'm through it,
Right,
but how I'm getting through the loss of my son,
right.
losing my mom. The man that killed my mom was the best thing that ever came into my life as a dad. So, with that being said, my mom had all these different boyfriends, and I didn't like not one.
Mm-hmm.
But when she got with him, the man that killed her,
Mm-hmm.
he changed her. He had her being at home. He had her being a mother to me. He had her cooking meals. He had her going to church. He was a church-going man.
Okay.
And, it's just ironic how somebody that you think is such a pillar of the Lord could do something.
Right.
But Lord, God forgives. If God forgive him, then who am I to not?
Yeah.
So he did his time in jail, in prison, and I didn't think that I was gonna ever see him because when he went to jail, I was like 12 or 13. I was 12,
Mm-hmm.
but I became an adult during that period of time that he was gone.
Right.
So my mentality changed from a adolescent, from a young, child into an adult.
Mm-hmm.
My mind changed. So, society had me thinking, oh, I hate him, he this, he that, just because of, oh, he killed you, people will fill your mind up and you will gravitate towards that direction based on the environment and the way people think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the mentality that I grew to hate him. But I had to go back to my childhood. I really didn't hate him. I hated what he did. I hated what he did because he took my mother's life. That's something that can't be reversed.
Right.
Now, the person that he was to me, he was a great person to me. He was a great person to my mom. But he did what he did. I still forgave him. I forgave him. It had to come back full circle because throughout being 12 and being my teenage years and, having to stand strong, that what this man did to my mom, and I had to stand strong like I hate him and this and that. Going into adulthood, I had to come to terms to reality with myself. I did not hate him. And it was making me a bitter person to hate him.
What advice would you give other parents that has dealt with a loss of their child?
Grieve how you need to. Do what you need to do for you, and don't let others that think they know how you should deal with your loss, don't let them guide you. Your process is your process. If something feels right to you, but somebody else makes you feel it's weird,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't listen to them. You have to go with what is best for you. Take whatever time you need. There's no time limit on grief. Everybody is different. If somebody was saying, well, you ought to be okay by now, that person don't have no understanding.
Right. He ain't went through what I went through.
Right. They have no understanding. Cherish your baby. Cherish memories. Keep memories, just know that your child was there for a reason and God had him there, or her, or your child there for the duration of the time that they were there for his purpose and in his will. And also to know that you're blessed because he gave you stewardship over that baby, regardless of how long of the time frame it was.
Mm-hmm.
To give you stewardship, that's an honor. That's an honor.
Yeah.
So, just have pride in that, what was still is.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's some good advice.
Yeah.
So Kasha, before I let you go, will you tell us about the Lady Moss of the Sea?
So Lady Moss of the Sea is it's an online website, and what we do at Lady Moss of the Sea is we make all natural wild crafted sea moss, and sea moss has 92 minerals and nutrients that you need per day out of 102. It's good for any kind of medical condition across the board. Even if you don't have a medical condition, it's just good in general for you. It has 92 properties that we need daily. It's good for medical conditions such as high blood pressure, sinuses, asthma, inflammation, eczema, allergies. It's good for women's pH balance. It's good for men's sex drive. It's good for babies. It's good for raising the fertility rate. Um, I can go on and on about all the good things that
So
it does for you.
how you drink it or eat it or what?
Well, you eat it because it's a solid form, and you just take a tablespoon a day. I have flavored kinds, but the plain sea moss doesn't have a flavor, and the flavor that it does has is kind of just like ocean taste, kind of just like fresh water taste,
Okay.
which don't sit well with a lot of people. So that's where I incorporated flavors into mine. So I use all natural fruit and nectars to make my fruit flavored sea mosses, and you just take a tablespoon of it a day, or you can incorporate it into your like whatever your regimen is. If you like drink smoothies, or if you drink like certain type of juices, like an orange juice, you can add it to your orange juice. You can have your like
So
mango
one a
juice.
day?
One a day, and you take it for about 3 weeks. This jar will last you about 3 weeks, and I would say you will start seeing some differences in like energy. It helps with immune. It helps with detoxing. So you'll start seeing some differences within about 3 to 5 days, depending on your needs. And
How do you store it? In the refrigerator or out?
yep, you keep it refrigerated. Before you open it, you don't have to refrigerate it, this is what it'll do. It'll go to like a liquid consistency, but it's kind of like butter. If you keep butter out at room temperature, it's going to melt. But when you put butter back into the refrigerator, it solids back up. So the thing with the sea moss is it works the same way. Only difference is once you open it, the life expectancy starts to die. So you do need to keep it in the refrigerator after opening.
Okay. I definitely want to get some before you leave. I ain't never had none, but I heard it was definitely good.
It is. It's good for you.
So what made you get into that, Kasha?
Good question. Good question, Tanika. I have a thyroid condition, and I had to have my thyroid removed in 2019. So 2020, my sister Lisa, rest in peace to her. She's not with us anymore. Yeah.
Peace, Lisa. I know your sister.
She had kept telling me, you need to take some sea moss. You need to take some sea moss. And I'm like, what is that? I had no clue what sea moss was. She's like, well, I'm coming to Atlanta and I'm gonna take care of you and I'm gonna get you some sea moss. We're gonna find some sea moss. So she came and she took me around to the health food stores and we found some sea moss, which it was a good thing because you cannot find sea moss, authentic sea moss, hardly nowhere in the U.S. It's pool grown here in the U.S. now. Whether what she had for me was real or not, I think it was real. But I've came over my experience of finding sea moss. I found the real versus the fake, and ours is shipped straight from the Caribbean.
Okay.
My husband's stepmother is from the Caribbean, so we have a supplier that ships it straight to us from the Caribbean. So we got authentic 100%. But initially, finding out about the sea moss, my sister came and she made sea moss for me, and my thyroid had gotten removed, and it actually helped me out. It gave me my energy. I don't know if y'all know, the thyroid it's basically like the fuse box for all your body, like for everything.
My sister had thyroid. She go up and down like always has. So for real, she gonna be like
yes. So that's how I got into sea moss, because of my thyroid. My sister introduced me to sea moss.
And it helped you?
It helped me, yes, it helped me.
You noticed it, you noticed it?
Well, this is the thing. No, I didn't notice it. The doctor told me that I was gonna have to take a pill for the rest of my life, a thyroid pill, to make me feel like I have a thyroid, to keep my numbers where they need to be. So instead of starting my medication, I just started taking my sea moss, because like I said, my sister was there to take care of me after my procedure, and she started me right off on the sea moss immediately. Right. So when I went back for my follow-up, the doctor asked me had I been taking my medication, and I said, yeah. And they did my numbers or whatever, my numbers were fine. Right. And I had not taken none of the medication.
That's right.
So, yeah.
You knew what had worked for you.
Yes.
That's good. So this is some good product, y'all. So, Lacasha has Lady Moss of the Sea. I don't know why I keep messing it up, but Lady Moss of the Sea, and it's good. Y'all done heard it from her. I'm definitely gonna try it, and I'll give y'all an update. But I believe her. and y'all should tap in and get some.
Yep.
So how much do you sell these jars for, Kasha?
So throughout the years, the prices has changed. I always offer a promotion. You can do 2 for 50 or they're 30 each.
Okay.
They used to be cheaper, but with the pandemic and everything, with
Everything
going
has
up,
Mhm.
the price went up. Now they were up to 35 once upon a time, but I did drop my price back down to 30. So for all you watchers out there that was buying it for 35, come on back for 30 because it's down to 30 again, and it's still the promotion 2 for 50. Visit my website at ladymossofthesea.com, and I'm on all the platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Yep, so visit my sites there.
So Kasha, I went and got you some flowers, and I want to give you your flowers, being on my show.
Thank you, Tanika.
And you are a beautiful lady.
I appreciate you for that. Wow.
And I hate that you had to have that experience that we talked about today, but I encourage you to just keep on doing what you're doing because you shine like a star.
Now this was the red eye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, it is the truth. You are.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Honor her.
Yes, absolutely. I know. Thank you. Thanks for considering me. Right. Yeah, this
They
is
shoot
really
you in the hood like Trayvon Martin. Me and Ron C sipping Remy Martin. Young Taj with Guy and so many others. I'm from a small city, so it's like we all brothers. Stay strong sisters, what we tell they mothers. Print up white tees, Photoshop angel wings on her.